This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Scott Howell.
Hello, good neighbors. Welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast, brought to you by the Friends and Neighbors Group of the Greater Chattanooga region. Of course, the announcer told you my name is Scott Howell, and I'm your host today. You know, when we're asked a lot of times, what is the theme of the Good Neighbor Podcast? Well, the theme is that we desire to bring an awareness to the community regarding locally owned and operated businesses in this region. You know, sometimes we forget that our communities were built on the backs of our local businesses. They're the backbone of our communities, and they need our support. And you know, I realize is we have more conveniences in life, and we have a lot of things in life, and we're busy. We run around here, but as much as we can, we need to have an intentional thinking of that, supporting our local businesses and doing all we can to keep them going and keep them knowing that they're part of us and we're part of them. And you know, we've got one of our local neighbors here today, Jason Liers at Stone Ridge Remodeling. And Jason, we are so happy to have you on the program today.
Glad to be here, Scott.
Yeah, you know, I always say that I usually say it before I introduce you, but I forgot. So let me just say it now. You know, every local business has a story to tell. And to Jason, we're here today just to help you tell yours loud and proud. And we're thankful that you decided to be on with us today. And, you know, we want to learn all there is to know about Stone Ridge Remodeling. But before we do that, would you care to share with us a little bit something about yourself and your family?
Yeah, sure. So I'm originally from Florida. We moved up here when I was just out of high school. My parents moved up here, so I kind of followed them.
Okay.
Married, got 3 kids.
All right.
And we live in the Cleveland area.
Okay. All right. Well, how old are your children? How old are they?
My oldest is 10, and I've got twins that are 5.
Twins. All right. Well, the 10-year-old is the chief babysitter, right?
Yeah, I wish.
Oh my goodness, that's funny. What's your wife's name, Jason?
Wife's name is Jennifer.
Jennifer, kudos to you for having all these kids and holding down the fort, right?
That's
kudos
it.
to you. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I tell you what, Jason, let's dive in. You just tell us all about the Stone Ridge Remodeling.
So Stone Ridge Remodeling, we specialize in interior remodel, mostly in bathrooms and kitchens, but we do other things. How we kind of got our start there, my biggest background is in tile work. So it was a very natural progression to get into bathrooms. And then that has bled over into kitchens and a lot of other things.
Yeah. So how was your journey? How did you come to be in this business?
So if we go all the way back to when I was a kid, my grandpa was a general contractor. My dad framed houses. So I came up, you know, when I was about 14, 15, I started going to work with him, hauling lumber. Every summer when I was in high school, I would work on whatever crew Dad was working on. So I kind of grew up working with him. And once I got out of college, I started college, didn't end up finishing because I realized, why am I sitting here going to school when I can go swing a hammer and make just as much money as some of these people getting 4-year degrees? So I decided not to go the whole college route, and I went to work for a local remodel company. I just fell in love with it. Started my first business in my 20s. That was J&J Home Improvements. And I had an extensive flooring and tile knowledge at that point. So we did a lot of flooring, started, you know, my remodel journey back then. Then in 2008, you know, throughout all the hardship there, I ended up shutting that business down. So we took a hiatus there. I went and drove a truck for a little while, and I ended up getting into the construction supply industry, supplying materials and kind of working that whole side of the construction industry. So I've been in, you know, not only the building, but in the distribution as well. So then in 2019, was getting kind of tired of the corporate job and was getting antsy to kind of get back out here and start building again. So we started a handyman company. It was just me, and a lot of my old customers from the J&J days got wind that I was back at it. So it wasn't long. We started taking on bigger remodel projects. And so in 2022, it was the end of 2022, we rebranded the handyman company into Stone Ridge and focused just on remodel work and taking care. If a customer's hired us to do a remodel and they call us with some home repairs, I do my best to take care of our regular customers, even if it's more of a maintenance thing.
Okay. Awesome, man. You've been involved in construction pretty much all your life, and a lot of different avenues of it too.
Yep. All my in-laws are all contractors. Like I just can't get away from it.
Well, then your wife knew what to expect when she tied up with you, right?
Yeah, her dad's been building pretty much his whole life too. So
that's great. That's great. Well, tell us about your family a little bit more. What do y'all like to do for fun when you're not out there working?
Well, I'm a real avid motorcycle rider. I like about anything on two wheels.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Street, dirt. I've got a dual sport and a Harley.
Yeah.
So I like to spend as much time on those as I can. Otherwise, chasing the kids around and, just regular old family life.
Well, Jason, you've been in this industry a long time and probably seen it all and heard it all, so to speak. So tell us what kind of myths and misconceptions do you hear from people that, when they are entering into this bathroom remodel or this, kitchen remodel, and they're doing it for the first time? What kind of things do you hear them say? Questions they ask, maybe.
So one of the big ones, especially in the tile trade, I still hear a lot of people, even pros, that have the misconception that tile itself is waterproof. And so they'll build these showers out, and the tile itself is not waterproof. The waterproofing is what's behind the tile. That's definitely a myth and a misconception.
Oh, wow.
Something else that we get a lot is they're not familiar with the construction process, so to speak.
Yeah.
And one of our biggest objections sometimes, as we're competing against other contractors, is just sometimes our price is way higher than what some other contractors are, just because of our processes and the way we do things are quite a bit different. I try to focus on, number one, doing a quality job, and number two, offering a quality experience. So
can you speak a little bit more about that? The quality of what you do, maybe compared to what the lower price people do?
Sure. So one thing we try to do, we use all quality materials. We install everything to manufacturer's recommendations, and we do our best to use full systems. So in the building industry, you have lots of manufacturers, like some of the household names would be like GAF for roofing shingles and the Schluter products for tile systems. Mohawk is a big flooring company, and all of these manufacturers, you have not only your finished product, what the consumer is actually going to see when it's done, but you have all the installation materials that provide the installation the way the manufacturer has designed that to go. So we do our best to use the full system recommended by the manufacturer, so that not only we can provide you with a quality install, but we can provide you with that manufacturer's full warranty as well.
Okay.
One thing you'll see with a lot of the cheaper contractors is they'll start mixing and matching things to try to save you $1. And I tell people all the time, it's not my job to save you $1. It's my job to give you a quality product that's going to last until you're tired of looking at it, basically.
Well, sometimes it's not as long as others, right?
Yeah, it depends. There's definitely, higher and lower products on the scale there.
Yeah. I bought a house one time, and went in the bathroom, had pink tile. I was pretty tired of it really quick.
I heard that.
Didn't take me long at all to get tired of looking at that.
I bet.
Pink bathtub, pink sink. Oh my goodness. Well, I want to focus on something you said earlier about that tile is not waterproof. It's what you put behind the tile. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay. So I'm a big fan of Schluter systems, which a lot of people know as the orange stuff.
Okay.
It's starting to become a household name just because there's lots of other good systems on the market, but Schluter does an amazing job with education and providing a full system. They basically manufacture everything needed for tile installation except for grout. They have their own thin set. They have all their own waterproofing membranes. So let's take a shower, for example, because that's obviously your biggest wet area inside a house. They offer multiple systems to waterproof the floor, the walls, and make that area to where it is waterproof and it's vapor tight before the tile is ever installed. If a waterproofing job is done correctly, you can take a shower in that shower before any tile is even installed, because the way that system works, as you're taking a shower, your grout, even if it's sealed, even if it's epoxy grout, the premium materials, as the water runs across that surface, especially the floor, tile and grout is porous. So eventually it will saturate. The water's mostly going to run down the tile to the drain, but there is water that's going to get through that tile. And so you want to make sure you have a waterproofing system underneath that tile. It's going to catch that water and get it to the drain. The biggest failure that I see is either shower floors that aren't sloped properly or shower floors that don't have the proper waterproofing system in place to be able to channel that water. And I've done numerous, I probably couldn't even put a number on it at this point, replacements of showers that are maybe only 6 months to a year old, and they're already failing and they already have rotten floor systems because the installer didn't know what he was doing, or he tried to shortcut the process by using products that didn't go together. And so he didn't get a quality installation.
That can also cause a mold problem too, kid.
Definitely. In fact, I had a call this morning. The lady called me and she had a plumber doing some plumbing on her house, and he was underneath and came up and said, "Ma'am, you have mushrooms growing on the bottom of your plywood underneath your shower."
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I got to go look at that one on Monday. But they either have a problem around the drain or they have a problem in the corners and the water's getting through.
So what do you do when a situation like that arises where there's a huge mold issue and you go in and I know you got to tear it out, but what about if there are areas maybe that you can't get to, or what do you do in a situation like that?
So in a shower, the way I usually attack that, being that I don't know exactly how the shower's built or what the system used by the previous installer was, and I can't guarantee my work if I'm tying into somebody else's, we approach a shower like it's a full gut. We gut the whole thing down to the studs, take all the tile off, all the backer off. If the mold is just confined to the shower area, then most of the time we can remove those materials and it's not a big deal.
Right.
One of the worst ones that I saw, the mold had gotten into the insulation, was into the 2x4s. We had to cut the whole exterior wall of the house out and change all that material. There are some chemicals that can be treated and remediated depending on your sensitivity. This particular customer in that instance had a high sensitivity to mold, so they didn't want to take any chances. They wanted to get everything out of there that the mold was touching, and I totally understand that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in most cases, we remove anything that has mold, or if it's, let's say it's on some of the key structural members of the house, there are things we can do to treat that, to kill it and make sure that it doesn't come back, or at least slow it down. especially if it's in a place that's not going to be visible once we complete the new installation.
Yeah. Okay. So you that's like I said a while ago, sound like you've seen it all.
I don't know that I've seen it all, but I've seen a lot.
Seen a lot, yeah. So when you get it all put back together and you have a happy customer, I'm sure you probably get referrals from that too, where people tell their friends or family and neighbors about you, and next thing you know, you're getting a call saying so and so told me to call you because you did such a great job at their house.
Yes, sir. 95% of our business is referral business.
That's awesome. Hey, that speaks highly of you, buddy. That speaks highly of you. So, and you, what is your coverage area?
So we serve obviously the Cleveland area. That's where we're based out of. We do a lot of work up on Signal Mountain.
Okay.
We cover pretty much all of Chattanooga, East Brainerd, Ottawa, McDonald,
Yeah.
that whole kind of greater Chattanooga area, I would say.
Yeah.
I've looked at some jobs in Athens. I don't typically go that far north, but for the right job, I would.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
And then some of the towns, like Old Fort and, out past Cleveland, being in Cleveland, those are a lot of people that are underserved out that way because a lot of the Chattanooga contractors don't want to go that far.
Right.
And for me, they're right in my backyard. So
sure.
we really have a pretty big coverage area. Usually I try to keep my drive under an hour.
Yeah.
Hour and a half, depending on traffic. Sometimes it takes me that long to get up on top of Signal, but
yeah, really. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of our area.
Okay. All right. Well, man, I want to ask you a question. I always like to ask everybody this question, but before we end the interview, if there was one thing that you wish our listeners knew about Jason Liers, now I'm talking about the heart of what you do, not what you do, but the heart of you and your business. If you wish they knew one thing about Jason Liers and Stone Ridge Remodeling that they probably wouldn't know unless you shared it with them, and you like to shout it loud and proud here today, what would that be?
I personally, and the team that I'm trying to build, we have a passion for what we do. We come into your house, we treat that house like it's our own. And when we leave, we not only want you to be proud of the work, but we want to be proud of the work. I never want to do a project that I'm not 100% proud to put my name on and shout from the rooftops, we did this, and this is an absolute awesome house.
Oh, you can't beat that. Customer service is second. If you have good customer service, it's second to none. Not only just customer service while you're doing it, but just say something if minor was overlooked and happened and they called you back. You being quick to come back and check and not making them wait and all that. That means a lot to people.
It does.
And that's why you get good referrals, because you stay on top of it. You try to do the job right the first time, and you stay on top of making sure the job stays right.
And we want the repeat business. I mean, I want to build customers for life. I've got 2 or 3 customers. We've pretty much remodeled their whole entire house, and I'm waiting for them to sell it and buy another one so we can start again.
Oh, that's cool. Well, Jason, I want you to take a moment and tell people how to contact you and where they can find out more information about you, even whether online or offline.
Definitely. So our website is stoneridgeremodeling.com. You can go there, check us out. We got a gallery on there of past projects we've done. You can see some of the reviews we have and learn more about us there. We also have Stone Ridge has a Facebook page. And you can also see us on Google. There's lots of pictures and different stuff on our Google business page as well. Our phone number, if you want to reach out, is 423-704-9700.
704-9700.
And you can call or text that number.
Call or text. All right. Well, sounds like you've got a way. Those pictures are really important. I've told people that before. I've worked with small businesses to help them develop marketing programs. And especially when you're in the construction industry, you need pictures to show people.
Definitely.
You need to be able to show people what you do. So that's a great idea. And kudos to you and your family, and our best wishes from the Good Neighbor Podcast to you, to your continued success.
Thank you, Scott.
Been a pleasure having you on, buddy.
Been happy to be here.
Yeah. And all the good neighbors of the Greater Chattanooga region, after meeting Jason and hearing more about Stone Ridge Remodeling and what they do and what it means to them to do the job right, I know that the next time that you're in need of his services, that he hopes that you'll remember this and consider him, give him an opportunity to come in and show you what he can do, to give you a quote, to tell you what he does, what that's different maybe than what somebody else does. It might be worth your time. He just might be the man that you meet, that you want to do business with, like he says, from now on. So give him a try. He's got a Facebook page, his website, and he listed his phone number. Remember him the next time you need that bathroom or kitchen remodel done. And to all the listeners out there of the Greater Chattanooga region, thank you for taking the time out of your day and visiting with us. Whether your business or your community is in Cleveland or Dalton or Jasper or Benton, we're part of the whole Greater Chattanooga region, and it's a beautiful place. And let's remember one another, and always remember to support locally owned and or operated businesses, and do all we can to help one another. This is Scott Howell signing off. I hope everyone goes out and makes this a remarkable day.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpcleveland.com. That's gnpcleveland.com or call 423-380-1984.